Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ben Passman Sergeant 2021. I'm TT, he's the QB, and let's get started. We got an IFL schedule reveal, laughing at the NAL, and hopefully introducing our third guest, our third co-host. So, let us begin.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, okay, just make sure. All right, cool. So yesterday we had some big news coming out from the good old IFL.
Huge news.
Let me turn up your volume a little bit. All right. Oops, wrong thing. X that out for a minute. Okay. Now let's start off with. But before we get to that, let's just laugh at the NAL because that's always a good start.
Yeah.
Go to the so currently the website's on here. And, I just have some minor bad news for you. That's lovely. That just popped up on the site right now. Very small bad news. I don't know. Oh, here we are. Here we go. This I think, is wonderful. So we're gonna go on the Tampa Bay Louisville termination update. So here you go. So I'm just going to read the first paragraph. The National Arena League announces termination of the membership agreements for both the Tampa Bay Tornadoes and the Louisville Extreme. Both franchises were scheduled to play in the upcoming 2021 season, but due to the COVID-19 situation, both teams failed to provide league-mandated letters of credit. The National Arena League's front office was forced to proceed with the mission to dismiss both franchises. 2020, the NAL is confident with the 2021 season with the current franchises: the Jacksonville Sharks, Columbus Lions, Carolina Cobras, Orlando Predators, Jersey Flight, and Albany Empire.
And don't forget Oh wait, can I mention that or?
Yeah, go ahead.
The Ontario Bandits.
Yes, the Ontario Bandits. Dear goodness. Oh, I can't believe they did that. I cannot believe at the end. Oh, let's go on to this. That's another good thing to jump into. So going by those cities I just mentioned: Jacksonville, Florida; Columbus, Georgia; Carolina, specifically Greensboro, North Carolina; Orlando, Florida; Jersey, as in New Jersey; and Albany, New York. What's one thing all six of those cities have in common?
East Coast.
Yes. What's one thing that Ontario, California is not?
East Coast.
Mm-hmm. Let me see if I can bring up. Let me go to Wikipedia. I don't know if it's been updated on Wikipedia yet. By the way, yes, I go to USF.
They're not even on the eastern half of the United States.
No, it's
East Coast.
If not, I can go to reliable Microsoft Paint. 7 teams currently. Let's see. Look at this. This is hilarious. I mean, okay, so this is the current map of teams. I'm gonna post it to you, Ben. It's a complete F.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, they didn't even show that crap.
Yeah, you're talking about last year the IFL getting an F in geography.
The NAL doesn't just get an F in geography; it gets an F in logic. At least
they just dropped out of school.
Yeah, here, that's a better one. I love snip. By the way, my favorite thing is snipping tool. Look at that. Yeah. I mean, look at that. I want to delete this first one real quick.
I mean, when your closest team is the Columbus Lions.
Yeah.
That is bad.
I mean, let's just look. I mean, you got 3 teams in the South. A team that was going to play but didn't play but still is technically a member in West Virginia. 2 teams in the Northeast. 1 team kind of in the Mideast. And then let's just go to California.
Now this opens up the question: is the NAL planning on adding teams out in the West? Could we see? And this is a theory that I have. I think it's a good time to introduce this. Could we see an AWFC NAL merger?
I legitimately did not think of that, but I mean, yeah, it's a possibility. I mean, for last year, the NAL, is in 2019. The NAL tried to merge with the CIF, which is a bunch of teams for the YouTube viewers, kind of in the middle of the map. You know, they got some Texas teams, a couple Oklahoma teams, a Kansas team. You're kind of middle of the country. And the AWFC is a bunch of teams in the West Coast. They just announced the Tri-Cities Rage or the Rush. I forget which one's the new one, which one's a dead one. They already have Wenatchee Valley Skyhawks. That's up in Idaho. A bunch of
Idaho
northeastern
Horsemen,
teams. Oh yeah, Idaho Horsemen. That's a good example. You got a bunch,
the
but more.
flagship member. Yeah.
Yeah, the flat. I legitimately forgot about the Idaho Horsemen. I have not.
Wow.
I know. I'm a top three. I run the best podcast, Nana Boo Boo.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this is a disaster. I mean,
Whatever happened to the Reno Express?
I think they're still there. I mean, either way, that's not a bad. I mean, if they're whether they're there or not, it's a good pickup at least for the AWFC. That would make sense because of their region. But yeah, AWFC NAL. Yeah.
Now I'm going to suggest something even more insane.
Oh no.
What if
Oh
Roy
no.
Choi? What if Roy Choi? Okay.
I'm listening. Roy Choi, the owner of.
Notice how the San Diego Strike Force, their website is still up. The Cedar Rapids River Kings, their website is not. Maybe he's pulling one of his teams from the IFL, the San Diego Strike Force, and putting them in the NAL.
I did not consider that in the slightest. That would be like the NAL's attempt, I guess, to get back at the IFL for taking Massachusetts. But now
I know
Louisville,
it's probably not true. Yeah,
but
it would be insanely funny.
Oh yeah, it definitely would be. I mean, but then what would happen to the Oakland Panthers? Would they play in both leagues? I mean,
They got beast mode.
yeah, Beast Mode could probably afford that. He hasn't gone bankrupt yet.
Yeah.
I'm with okay. I think that's a very valid point.
Wait, why am I being optimistic now? Why am I being optimistic? Stop it.
Well, I mean, if you can tell by okay, we know what your favorite team is.
Yes.
We know what league your favorite team has to try to drag out of death right now.
I cannot wait until we jump ship to the IFL.
Oh, I genuinely hope you guys do. Because the second that happens, you'll probably drag Columbus with you.
Columbus, I feel like, could survive in the IFL.
I mean, well, Columbus Lions, they're basically like the thoroughbred when it comes to like not Sioux Falls, mid 2000s, mid 2010s, bouncing from league to league to league in the death of the AFL, and then surviving. I feel like honestly, Columbus, they could among all the NAL teams, Columbus is the best suited to if the NAL dies and the AAL becomes whatever's next outside the IFL, Columbus could honestly go either way and survive either way.
You don't think Carolina could?
I think Carolina has the same owner. No, I don't. I mean, they could. They probably could, but I don't think they would go to I don't think they'd go to AAL.
Because NSV owns both the Sharks and the Cobras, don't they?
Yeah, but do you really think the Sharks would go to the AAL?
Well, now that Bushi is gone, anything's possible.
Yeah. Trust me when I say this. You are sounding a lot like 2017 TT. I'm sorry to make it true. I know it's disappointing, and welcome. One of us is all I can say.
Actually, no. Keep saying that because you're jinxing it.
I hope I'm. I don't know whether I'm hoping I am or not. I miss the Tampa Bay Storm. Gotta get that. And speaking of Storm, that's a good transition. On to the big topic, of course. Let me find it up on the. Unfortunately, not my version, but Our next big topic, the main topic of the night, the IFL schedule. And yes, the official IFL grid. I made a grid like an hour before, and I got one up by the IFL. So that tradition from Ben Pass on Target 2020 still exists. But the IFL. Thank you. This is bliss. Your schedule is not a disaster. It's not a pure disaster like last year. I mean, there are definitely some discrepancies, some problems. But
I'm still mad about the structure of it.
Yeah, but I mean,
they had the perfect opportunity to organize into two conferences, bring back the United and the Intense.
Mm-hmm.
And what do? You just have a 12-team table.
One 12-team table.
It's a shame.
Yeah. Green Bay could have hosted a playoff game under that structure. Okay, I'm
No, they
delusional.
couldn't have. Cause,
Sure, they could have.
because
They could have. I mean, all they had to do was just hope that
no,
Massachusetts struggled long enough to get to give Green Bay a nice head start. They could probably keep over Massachusetts.
Sioux Falls, Mass. I think Louisville might have a better record than them, possibly. Look at their roster.
I have. They have Cornelius Lewis, who's going to be a great offensive lineman. I forgot. Oh gosh, I keep forgetting his last name. Nat, G-N-A-T. Rodney Nat. He's going to be a great defensive lineman. Kendrick Ings is going to be the best receiver in the league. Go Storm, Tampa Bay Storm, the real Storm. But they don't have much else outside of those three guys. I mean, their quarterback is Dalton Oliver, who finished out the string last year for the whatchamacallit, the Cedar Rapids River Kings. Just kind of finished out the schneid and played really bad by indoor football standards.
I'm going to ignore the fact that you said the Tampa Bay Storm are the real Storm because they're dead, so they're clearly not the real Storm. Anyways, excuse me. Another team that is better than Green Bay, Iowa. Probably.
They do have Dave Quill. I mean, they do. I mean, okay, to be fair, Iowa does have DeQuan Neal back. They did get DeQuan Neal back. Tucson ended up signing E.J. Hilliard to the quarterback position. But I still think Tucson has enough talent. But I mean, okay, so I guess we're going a little ahead of ourselves going into predictions. Which they probably would have been in the Intense Conference alongside here. I'll just post it up right now.
No, the Intense Conference would have been all the teams in the Southwest and then Spokane.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, Tucson would have been one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm just typing up Northern. I mean, the Intense would have been Arizona, Northern Arizona, Duke City,
Frisco,
Tucson. Frisco is officially complete, and of course, Spokane, with the United being
Bismarck, Sioux Falls, Green Bay, Iowa, Louisville, and Mass.
Yeah, Mass, Bismarck, Louisville, who is another interesting thing. That's like the NAL, the IFL. They needed a team with the 12th hour. They needed a team with 11:59 p.m. You got to submit your thing by 1 o'clock. What? So Ben, what do you do if you got school assignment? It's 11 o'clock. The assignment's due by 12. What do you do?
Get you to do it for me.
Other than that,
copy somebody.
Yep. And what's the easiest way? And you know the easiest way to do that in football terms? Pack it in. You know how you pack it in? Pick up a team. Just pick up a team. Any random team. Yeah. Louisville exists. There's someone in the West. Let's do that. And while the NAL decides to have an aneurysm and just go, California, that's a good team for the East Coast American League.
I legitimately want to know what on God's green earth Chris Siegfried was smoking that day.
Well, he lives in Atlanta, so and the Braves just lost, so probably I don't actually. Yeah, the Braves are Atlanta's, right? I don't know much about baseball. Okay, good.
Yes, they are.
I mean, we know what happened. Like, I want to say 150 years ago, when 155 years ago, when a certain General Sherman put Atlanta on fire.
Are you talking about Sherman's march through Atlanta?
Yes, I am.
That's one of my favorite historical events.
Mm-hmm. Mine too. Burning Georgia.
Yeah, screw Georgia. Florida gang.
Yeah, except for the Gators. Gators are no good. No Gator allowed. Yeah. But Georgia bad. What was I was talking about the basic idea of a united indoor. Gosh, I'm a little far behind. Whew. Iowa, Bismarck, Louisville, and lastly, how do I forget the last team? Oh. That would have been a good setup right there. Let me go back to this. This would have been a very good setup. You got right here. You got your west, your east. Let me bring up the Lethal Extreme map. I can find that. I'm gonna go. Oh wait, no, what am I doing? I'm on Wikipedia. The best resource of. There we go. The best resource on the planet.
Wikipedia?
Yep. Wikipedia is the best resource. I mean, it's a great first resource. Here we go. Okay, so this is the IFL map. Okay, well, not counting future and dead teams. I don't know what they're all doing here, but just a quick little copy image because I'm a little lazy to find the real IFL one. Right there. Oh, I did it again. Forgot to use the snipping tool. Okay. Message. Yeah. But I mean,
Rookie mistake.
I know. Rookie mistake, exactly. By the way, the official IFL, the map from the official IFL website has not been updated yet, so we're also waiting on that. I mean, there was one from the Louisville Extreme website, but there. I mean, counting only the blue, you had a very easy split between the West and the East. They could have made conferences, or even just West-East divisions like Duke City suggested last year with the completely wrong teams. But hey, that's what you get with Duke City.
Am I the only one that just feels bad for Spokane?
Yeah.
They're just shoved up in the corner by themselves.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and they play 2 games again, and I guess another good, an interesting quirk of the schedule. They play Massachusetts twice.
They sure do.
Mm-hmm. Go back to that. I mean, I know you can't say it yet, Benna, but cool. New. Okay. Here we are. Right. I love the snipping tool, by the way. That fuzzy image, by the way, is the last 5 games for Massachusetts. They play Spokane twice.
Oh, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Great travel idea.
But I mean, and you know what? That's actually going to be my next category. A game I'm really excited for. The NAL rematch. The best NAL game ever. The best NAL series ever. Pirates, Cobras. Every single week they made a great. Every time they showed up, it was a great game. And now we're gonna.
Was.
Mm-hmm. And then we're gonna get it back in a much better league. I mean, the only thing missing in the AIFB world among the good teams would be West Michigan, which I understand why they can't join due to ceiling, due to some height in their ceiling, their stadium being somewhat small vertically. Jacksonville, obviously, they're the last AFL team remaining, not named the Rattlers / the Shock, now the Reborn Shock, and the Barnstormers, and I guess technically the Blizzard from AF2. Maybe the Reborn Albany Empire. They're probably the only good thing that's happened to the NAL this year. By the way, the Albany Empire back. They're part of the NAL. Next podcast we'll be talking about the NAL schedule. That whatever that ends up being with Ontario.
Ontario. Good old Ontario. You are stupid.
Oh man.
What if we're over here thinking they're playing checkers, but really they're playing 3-dimensional chess?
Only 3 dimensions? Yeah, it's probably NAL. They're probably not talented enough to play 5-dimensional, 12-dimensional.
They're playing 8-dimensional.
Oh, okay. That's more better. Yeah. Good old. Let's see this, and there's some others, and there's another small schedule. Like just another big schedule quirks everyone kind of noticed. Iowa. Everyone's been at least on the 50YSP server. Let me find the guy. Hey, Micah Check. He's an Iowa Barnstormers fan. Here we are. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna steal this directly from Micah Check on this one. But let me go to snipping tool again. Oh yeah, snipping tool will be our primary messaging. Okay, there we are. By the way, I love snipping tool. I should just mention that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
there we go. Okay. Tried on the third attempt. Let me just copy this direct from A. Micah Check. He is an Iowa Barnstormers fan on the On50 YSP, our main server. It just says Iowa plays a total of 6 teams, and the most west they travel is Bismarck. So going by the conference structure that Ben mentioned earlier, the perfect conference structure, intense and united, Iowa only goes west, only goes outside of that conference structure twice for a home and home against the Frisco Fighters. A home, and Frisco, by the way, is the easternmost of the teams in the West. As you can see, them right here. So Iowa barely goes west at all. I mean, but they don't even have the least amount of travel. They have the only team that I think that's more egregious than Iowa is Duke City, which I don't know if I pointed out before, but Duke City's entire schedule is this. Let me go like this and get back to the top. Actually, what am I doing? I can probably do it a little easier, good old snipping tool. Okay. This, by the way, is Duke City. This, by the way, is Duke City's entire schedule, right here. I'll bring it up so you can see it a little better. They have home, the gray is home, white road, home Arizona, home Frisco. We have Frisco, Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, Northern Arizona, Frisco, Northern Arizona, back to Tucson, regular Arizona, Frisco, randomly Spokane. 2 games against Tucson, Northern Arizona, and then just the most random game of all, the road game against the Massachusetts Pirates. Which I think is beyond stupid. The Massachusetts Pirates, they have a road game against Massachusetts. And then the entire season, outside of that one road game in Massachusetts, they don't leave the basic area of Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. The entire season. They don't play in Spokane, they don't go up. They don't play any of the Midwestern teams like Green Bay, Iowa, Sioux Falls, Bismarck. They don't play any of them. They don't play Louisville. They don't even play Bismarck, which is pretty egregious since both teams are from the CIF. I mean, as you're seeing the picture above, both the NAL teams get to play each other, even if one of them relocated from Greensboro, North Carolina, Massachusetts. To Washington. I know they really didn't, but like all the players, plus some Jacksonville Sharks players, joining the Shock, which is going to make them pretty good. Meanwhile, on the other side, you have the Massachusetts Pirates, who play everybody. The Massachusetts Pirates are the only team that gets to play every other team.
Of course, they get the full gauntlet.
Yeah, they get the full gauntlet. That's a great way to put it. Because this IFL season, the team-wise, looks to be a lot better than last IFL season. I mean,
yeah.
Even though there's 2 more teams now, you got probably 2 of the best teams in the NAL roster-wise, in Massachusetts straight up and Spokane taking all the good players from Carolina, who conveniently took all the good players from former IFL team Wichita Falls in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also have, of course, the Rattlers. They're the Rattlers. I mean, they are the winningest. At this point, they have the most wins out of any indoor arena football franchise. They aren't the best there. I don't care what your formula said. Based on the Storm are still better than the Rattlers if you don't count the 2010s. Anyways, then of course you also
the formula never lies.
Yes, and then you of course have the Sioux Falls Fakers. They're again defending champions.
Hey, what are they faking?
Being the Tampa Bay Storm.
The Storm are dead.
Don't make me say it.
Say it. Jinx us. Why don't you?
The Sharks will be dead after the 2021 season.
Hey, guess what? You're known for your cold takes, so you just saved the Sharks.
No.
Thank you.
Right now. I could do a skill vibe right now and say, no, you're joking, but...
You will be hailed as a hero in Jacksonville.
But I don't want to... At least it's not Georgia. at least not Georgia.
Yeah. Could be worse.
Yeah.
There are people who actually live in Georgia.
A horror. By the way, yeah, I got engaged like a year ago. Yay. Let's see if I can find anything else. All right, and then of course, you got Duke City defending CIF champions. You've got Frisco. They got Clint Dozel coach. Green Bay. They just had Corey Robinson coach of the year, and they got BJ Hill back and Bakari Triggs. They're not going to be poopy doo doo. Lenore's Footman will be somewhat better than last year. Of course, Iowa, they're so good. Louisville got some AFL players, like I mentioned earlier. Naz has Verlon Reed for 2 weeks until he eventually breaks his knee again. Then, of course, you have Tucson, which has a bizarre combination of Tucson, Iowa, and Quad City.
Yeah.
And I guess that can lead to our next main topic. Now, last year, we spent the entire second episode just going over the entire IFL schedule. However, conveniently, I believe we both did that in advance this year. So let me get to mine on my other computer. I have 2 computers, by the way. Let me go to what I had on the other computer, post it from there, and then Ben, do you have your grid? Do you have your scheduled grid filled out, or just the standings? Do you have your whole grid filled out in Excel, or?
Yeah. Let me access that.
All right, cool. I'll put up my grid from what name? So, should I have this up earlier? Where is it? Oh, crud. But I guess in the meantime, while Ben's doing that, I'm doing this. I can. Where did I put that? Open.
Target Toad, I got big news. Big news.
What's the big news?
NAL just folded.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay. Dang it, I curse again. Yep. You got me.
No, yeah, I got you.
I was about to say, that would be our tradition on 50YSP.
That's 2 years in a row, that would be.
Yes, that would be our absolute tradition, is we talk about a league, how good it could be, and then it just goes rip. Just like the AFL did before our very first pod.
We killed the Arena Football League.
Yes, we did. We are murderers. We're never gonna get an exclusive interview with the NAL. Okay.
Either way, my team still exists and yours doesn't. So.
Okay, well I didn't have. I guess I didn't save it, but whatever. Either way. So I can't upload the grid, but I remember my standings actually.
All right.
And I'm going to be separating this into three separate tiers, because this is what I honestly believe the tiers are, and I would not be. And by the way, the IFL is going to be having 8-team playoffs. One table again. So.
Yeah.
So in Tier 1, I have Arizona, Spokane, Sioux Falls, Massachusetts. At 14-2, 13-3, you can see it on the screen.
Yeah.
And yes, I forgot to whatever. I think it's a pretty safe Tier 1. I mean, got the defending champions, the NAL's best team at this point, because he took most of the good players Jacksonville had. By the way, the thing I was trying to highlight earlier, Jacksonville just lost a cornerback to Jersey, I believe. Going back to the top.
Sure did.
Go back to the site. I was looking at it earlier. Here, by the way, the NAL site's hot garbage. Like, it just is. I mean, there was
Always has been, always will be.
yeah. What is this scaling on the side? Oh yeah, first West Coast team. That's I think. Here we go. Here you go. Wait. Oh crap! I just saw that. Oh yeah, the Cobras got a. Where'd it go? Stupid name. Okay. Well, anyways, the Cobras. Yeah, the Cobras just got Darwin Moss, I think, from Jacksonville. Right here, I found it. There we are. All right, yeah, the Cobras signed Michelle Robinson. That was the news I was trying to get you with earlier. It did not work. Oh, hey, he's been around since the Real League days. Dang.
Yeah. He's been around for a while.
Oh, right. He was the guy that got the interception that stopped Tampa Bay, forced Tampa Bay that got Dave Ewert fired. Speaking of which, Dave Ewert's now on the. I think he's the Frisco defensive coordinator, I believe, which is a good pick for defensive coordinator. I mean, it shows how experienced Frisco is at coaching. That's going to be their best resource, along with Jonathan Bain. However, I do not believe that saves them from what I believe to be the next tier. Tier 2. At the top of that tier, you have. What did I put up there? Oh. That I believe is tier 2, and I would honestly even rank it as such. Yes, I put Green Bay above Iowa. I'm that delusional.
You're extremely delusional.
Go hashtag Blizness. Hashtag Blizness. And by the way, at the end of the podcast, I'm going to show you our not the intended guest. By the way, that was going to be Quad City Dog. Spoiler alert! If we're able to time it better with him. And I'm gonna at the very end of the podcast. Actually, let's do it right now. Right here. If you can't see, that is that little bit right there is the Green Bay Blizzard mascot, a rug. Go Blizness. And get back to position. Down on my bed, laying down on the floor with a pillow. Okay. Frisco, they have, of course, Dozell head coach, and Dozell has been a coach in the indoor football league before. I mean, he won the first ever championship as coach of the San Angelo Express.
Yeah.
And right back in 2009. And then, of course, Green Bay, they have some great. Excuse me. They actually were the ones that won the Quad City receiver sweepstakes. What with that being, come back to me. Quentin Pendroza and Kevon Rudd. Best two receivers in the league last year. They were first team All IFL for very good reason. And now they're in Frisco alongside Jonathan, the bane of my existence. And I will always call him that.
He won a title for Jacksonville.
And he won a toilet bowl for Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
In 2016.
But he's a champion.
Yeah. And he threw more interceptions than touchdowns in the Arena League. Multiple times.
You want to see the opposite, though? A guy you think is all that, and I just know is horrible.
What?
Jason Boltus.
The middle school teacher? He's not all that, but he's a decent quarterback.
He was horrible for the Sharks.
Because he hasn't played football in 3 years. He hadn't played football in 3 years last year.
It's no excuse.
And of course, you have Iowa. They have less talent on defense than last time. Less talent on the receivers. I believe they lost I always get the two. I always get Hollenbrook and Ballantyne. I believe they lost Ballantyne to Tucson. That should be which is a solid receiver. They lost some defensive talent to the Rattlers, but they did get I keep on calling him Dayquil. Daquan. They did lose Daquan Neal. They got Daquan Neal back from Tucson. We were supposed to play in 2020, but COVID happened. We're supposed to play Tucson. They're supposed to play Iowa. They lost their coach Dixie Wooden to Utah before picking up Massachusetts' last coach, Amir Ismail. I can't pronounce his name. Armeed and Ismail. Ismail, I believe. I know I probably spelled that. But they got him, who, from what I remember in Massachusetts, watching him in the NAL, he was he was overly vocal about very minor things, like minor calls that go against him. He got very overly vocal about that. Got ejected from the NAL games 3 times and fined by that league. So I don't know what that means for him as a coach. I think he was a solid coach though. But I do remember getting ejected 3 times on 2018. And then of course Tucson, which they're not much different than Quad City from last year. I mean, they have less receiver. They have the best running game. The defense should be improved because I think they got some players from Iowa that the Rattlers didn't pick up. But on the other side, they do have EJ Manuel. Did I just call me EJ Manuel? I did. I meant EJ Hilliard. They do have
No,
EJ.
it's EJ Manuel, the former Bills quarterback.
We have Geno Smith the linebacker, and EJ Manuel in IFL. And by the way, that'd be Arvil Nelson. I don't know where he's going. Arvil. He's probably the best free agent available. Would not be surprised if he got picked up by Albany.
Oh yeah.
Or honestly, or Duval. I think if Jacksonville got Arvil Nelson, then the NAL is a wrap. No amount of coaching from Rob Keefe could fix that league. Could stop Jacksonville from just running over if they get Arvil Nelson. Arvil Nelson is the best quarterback in the indoor game right now. Like AFIB, he's the best quarterback, easily, not even close. Because
Tommy Grady.
He retired. Well, okay, assuming Tommy Grady doesn't come back, but Arvill's 5 years younger than Tommy Grady, so it's why I think Arvil would stick around, which is hilarious if you ever watched the AFL back in like 2014 when he first started, or 15 when he was a backup. 2016, 2016 when he first started, which is hilarious. That's just 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years is a lot of time in the indoor world. And now I guess I'm going to for your remaining teams, this one being Tier 3. Right. I believe I actually calculated ones in this case. I did not ever calculate ones. Okay. And finally, Tier 3. Let me edit this.
Oh yes.
The bottom tier, Louisville, Northern Arizona, Duke City, and Bismarck. Louisville just strikes me just because of how they were in the NAL, out of the NAL. I still think they're going to be the bottom, at least outside of Bismarck, both on and off the field when it comes to like getting getting things ready for the game, having good presentation, having good coaching. I know their coach is Mark Stout. He was a former coordinator for San Jose, like back when they had Grebe and Darren Arbet, who I think actually just won a conference championship at Carabios College, I believe, in California in D3, which is a good promotion for him. But he should be coaching the AFIB world. He's the best AFIB coach left outside of Kevin Guy. But this is I'm talking about Darren Arbet, the former SaberCats coach, not Mark Stout, the former SaberCats coordinator.
Ever heard of Curtis Riggs?
I have heard of Curtis Riggs. I used to call Mark Riggs. I just realized he was Curtis recently. He's of course the longtime Sioux Falls Storm coach. But I mean, again, this is going to be the least thing I'm going to say all night. I love the IFL, but the pre-2015 but the 2015 pre that AFL, like for let's say 92 to 2015 AFL, that 22 season period, that 22 season period, is far better than anything the IFL has today.
You cannot convince me that the Storm could have been playing in the AFL at that time and not have competed.
Competed, yes. Dominated to the point they won like 10 championships in a row? No. I mean, we saw what Chris Dixon's the best player in the history of the IFL, and he was horrible on the Voodoo. I mean...
Everyone was horrible on the Voodoo.
Okay, that is true. There was the Voodoo with Wim Prime. I mean,
if he played for the Sharks, he would have been the best player in the league.
No, he was not as good as Aaron Garcia. Even old 40-year-old Aaron Garcia was still better than Chris Dixon.
Yeah, because 40-year-old Aaron Garcia threw the game-winning touchdown pass in the Arena Bowl.
Even 43-year-old Aaron Garcia that was coming in for money under the table from Jacksonville again, Orlando, San Jose, kind of bouncing around the league, get some money, get some pocket change. Even that Aaron Garcia was better than Chris Dixon, because Aaron Garcia is an absolute legend. Chris Dixon's a legend, but a lower level legend. Still a legend, though. Still a legendary player, but definitely not on the AFL level. And the point I'm getting to that is why I believe Louisville is not utterly boned on the bottom of the league, because their quarterback Dalton Oliver, terrible. He could improve, but right now, terrible. A backup in Cedar Rapids who could only manage to get like 4 or 5 touchdowns. Only managed to get 5. Actually, I have stats. What am I doing? I have.
Well, it takes one to know one, if you know what I'm saying.
It does. It absolutely does. The problem is Green Bay. Here, Dalton Oliver stats.
Yeah, Green Bay sucks. Continue.
Okay. So this is, I'm just going to copy and paste another message I had from the other day when the schedule got revealed. Right there. Here is Dalton Oliver is the only quarterback from the Louisville Storm's website currently. Obviously, they could sign a guy. Jeff Ziemba is still available. He's a great quarterback, at least to IFL standards. Maybe they do get Arvell Nelson, in which case I'm just immediately going to put them 16-0. I'm not even going to question it. So 30 of 64, under 50% passing. 277 pass yards, so less than about 5 yards an attempt, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 5 sacks in 3 games in the IFL in the indoor arena football world. Those are awful stat lines. And he wasn't even a running quarterback. Like he couldn't scramble out of the pocket, he couldn't make big plays, he couldn't make the plays when they counted like Lenore's Footman can. And did back in 2019, which is why I'm a Blizzard fan, because I needed a team. I got the Blizness. That's Louisville's quarterback. However, they do have 3 great players of Cornelius Lewis, who is going to be, again, an outstanding blocker. He's going to give Dalton Oliver 10 seconds to throw that football. And if Dalton Oliver can find Kendrick Ings in the end zone consistently, Louisville is going to be a lot better than 5-11. I don't think they will, though. And then, of course, you have Rodney Nat, a great defensive lineman, solid. He's definitely going to be one of the better defensive linemen in the league. But beyond those AFL vets, Louisville's roster is pretty shallow. And they don't play the easiest schedule in the world. I mean, they play Green Bay like 5 times. But actually, let me go back to their schedule, because I don't remember off the top of my head. Let me get back to Louisville. Let's see. They got Green Bay, Tucson. That might be easy enough. Iowa, Massachusetts. Yeah, they got some tough slate. Because they got Frisco. I don't think they play a single game against a team I would list from tier 3, which would be the other teams are Northern Arizona, Duke City, and Bismarck. Northern Arizona, I'll admit I put them a little high at 4-12. I will admit that, but they have Verlon Reed. He's a good quarterback before his knee breaks again. I mean, he has to prove he can stay out of injuries. And right now he has not, and I don't think he's played a full season since the 27, or even half a full season, since the 2017 Salt Lake Screaming Eagles.
Yes. The fan-controlled team.
By the way, that organization is still trying to start their own league. I don't think it's
fan-controlled football.
They've tried it on and off. It's not going to work.
Well, they're really pursuing it now.
I mean, it could honestly work as an esport, but like as like a video game or whatever. Like I don't know if you're a video game, like I don't know, like a nerdy video game guy. But I don't think you're a nerd, but like there's like
I don't follow esports.
Well, I mean, there's that. Well, I could work as something like a Twitch plays Pokemon equivalent, which the idea is people could type in the chat what they want the players to do, like by controlling the buttons. That could actually work if you get a video game going for that. Mm-hmm. Like, you make it like you get, like I'm sure there's some that can get some old video game, make a custom roster for it, maybe Maximum Football, whatever, and just have like the controllers can find a way to get the Twitch chat to control the players, or is something like that. That could work. It'd be a complete mess, but that could work, but not with real life people, especially when you don't have like rosters or what have you.
That is true.
But going off that tangent, going back to the next team in the list, Duke City. The Duke City, they lost the best player I mean, they don't have their best player anymore. Ben, what's the name of their best player? From 20.
Antonio Brown.
Yeah, Antonio Brown. I love the naming coincidences. And he almost got up, and he would have played Oakland in week 3 had last year happened, and had he stayed on the team.
James Harden.
Yeah, they also had James Harden on the roster. James, same name, different guy. Same name, different guy.
I like to imagine it's just Antonio Brown and James Harden.
That would have been hilarious. Antonio Brown and James Harden. What do they do in the offseason together? They go play indoor. They go play indoor football in New Mexico. So why did the Rockets go on a 20-game losing streak in the middle of the season? And what happened to James? Why did that other guy in James Harden's beard? He was busy playing indoor football.
Yeah.
But they do have Nate Davis from Ball State, former NFL quarterback for the Niners for a little bit, about a decade ago. I guess he's been kind of bouncing around the indoor game for a while, and then he's been playing on Duke City for the past couple of years. So that's they have a decent quarterback. Don't see much else on the roster, though. I mean, they got plenty of players, but not a lot of guys I recognize, and I know that's for me being mainly an AFL player, an AFL fan, but not a lot of good guys I recognize on that Duke City roster. And lastly, at the bottom of the barrel, we all agree on this. I mean, even Skill, who's a Bismarck fan, agrees on this. Bismarck is a bottom of the barrel team.
Absolutely.
Don't know why they're still here. I mean, okay, I know why, regional stuff, but that one win I gave against Northern Arizona late in the year, I don't know if they're going to get. I'd be surprised if they got more than that. I really would.
I'm going to have to agree with you on that one.
So I think, I guess now, Ben, did you post your? You okay if I just copy and post your standings from earlier?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let me do this. There. Here we are. It's moving a little. Not even else plugged in. Darn. Come on, there we go. So that. Okay, and jump to. So these are Ben's full-on predictions, and these are Ben's predictions. He made them. We did our schedules earlier. This is Ben's full-on predictions. So we'll start from the top to the bottom. I'll let you explain it as is.
All right. So Arizona, Arizona, Spokane, Tucson, Sioux Falls, they're all 13-3. They all are extremely talented. Especially Spokane, they terrify me. I think they're the most talented team in the league, without a doubt. But based on tiebreakers, I had Arizona, Spokane, Sioux Falls, Tucson being the top 4.
I think that seems pretty fair for hosting playoff games. I think you put Tucson a little too high, but I mean, but beyond that, it's pretty indistinguishable because they do have a really, really easy schedule. So I could easily see them grabbing that. I mean, they're not. I don't think they're as good talent-wise as Sioux Falls, Arizona, Spokane, but their schedule is easy.
I think they're like last year's Barnstormers or 2019's Barnstormers.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. They got easy schedule, don't play a lot of tough games, but they don't really need to just because they got everything they need at the bottom. I mean, they don't have any tough games really. They don't play. Tucson has Arizona, but other than that, I think they played like they played in that southern. They play a lot of their games against Northern Arizona. Here, let me actually bring it up real quick. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 games against Northern Arizona. Only 3 against the Rattlers. 1, 2, 4 games against Duke City. And then Louisville, Spokane. Then they got 1 game against Spokane, 1 game against Bismarck, 1 against Massachusetts, and then 1 against Louisville to round out the schedule. Oh, and then only 1 game against Frisco. So that is they have 8 games where, logistically speaking, they should not lose more than 1 or 2 of those 8 games against Northern Arizona and Duke City.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then we go on to the next bunch. Massachusetts, Iowa, Green Bay, and Frisco rounding out the playoff. Ben's playoff field.
Yes. Massachusetts, they're easily the best of the teams that are not in the top four. Great NAL franchise. Not really much else you can say. They're always going to be a contender when they have Sean Brackett at quarterback.
I would, right now, I would rank Sean Brackett as the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
The problem is, and he has Marty Gilliard's a solid receiver, but just like I said back in the NAL last year, I don't see much outside of Brackett for Massachusetts. Brackett's a great quarterback, and they have a couple decent players on defense, but it's not that dominant. And then of course you have Iowa, Green Bay, both teams 8-8.
Yeah, I actually have them splitting their season series. But I think Iowa's going to get the tiebreaker. Just based on some rule, I'm not sure what, but just knowing Green Bay's luck, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. And then, of course, to round out the playoff field, we have Frisco.
Yeah, Frisco, I really wanted to predict them having a winning record because I think they're legitimately good coaching-wise. And I think a good coach will carry you far in the indoor game. But they have a tough schedule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I'll go up to that right now. Frisco's schedule for our YouTube viewers. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 3 games against Duke City. Then they play Spokane once. They got only 1 game against the Rattlers, but they do play pretty much all the good teams in the East, including 2 against Pirates. I believe actually they play everybody but Iowa. Wait, no, they play Iowa. Wait, does Frisco play everybody too?
They might.
I think I went doubles there. I think Frisco might actually end up playing the entire league. Oh wait, they don't play Northern Arizona. Yeah, I think that's good enough of an example. They play everybody but Northern Arizona,
which isn't even that far.
Or Bismarck, for that matter. They also don't play Bismarck. The 2 weakest teams in the league, they don't play.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty solid example for a difficult schedule right there. And then of course the bottom of the pile, we both agree on that. Just we have different rankings we had different numberings for them. Louisville, Duke City, Bismarck, and Northern Arizona all missing the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Any special comments on these teams?
Louisville, again, they're a team that I wanted to predict being better, but their schedule just
Yeah, they got the tough part of the East.
They play too many good teams, and they don't play Green Bay enough.
They have 4 games against the Blizzard.
Yeah, they don't play them enough.
Yeah, they need. Well, you know who doesn't play? You know doesn't play each other enough. Man, we need more Dukes. Wait, we need more Duke City now. Wait, was it 1? I think it was. Let's see, 1. You know what it is now? We need more Duke City Naz. We need more Duke City Naz Tucson game. Man, we need more of that.
Yeah, we sure do.
Yeah, we need way more of that. It's like last year, man. We need more Arizona beating up on San Diego and Tucson. Although in that case, at least it was Jihad Virtue to make it funny. Then of course Duke City at 3-13. We both agree on that. Even the right record. Might even agree on the exact games actually.
Mm-hmm.
Bismarck again. 2-14. Yeah, and then Northern Arizona, who also
2-14.
Yeah. Now let's go on to Ben's playoffs. He has. Oh, Ben, I appreciate you standing up with me for this.
Absolutely.
Of course, we got Arizona beating up on Frisco. That's a 14. That's a number 1. That's a 1-8.
Yeah.
Spokane falling to Green Bay. Green Bay falling to Spokane. I'm not even that. I at least can see numbers correctly. Again, Spokane is they're a top. It's the Spokane Cobras, the Spokane Wichita Falls Shock Knight Cobra Hawks. Nashville Venom. Throw that in there too. I think that was also one of Billy Back's teams. They're also a great team. Nothing to say about that. Iowa, Sioux Falls. Even with Daquan Neal back, Sioux Falls is going to crush Iowa.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, and then, of course, Massachusetts and Tucson. That's Ben's only upset, but it's not really upset just because I think Massachusetts is far better talented than Tucson.
Yeah.
Then in the semis, I think we would put undoubtedly Ben's biggest upset. Massachusetts over Arizona.
There's always something just insane that happens in the playoffs in the IFL every year.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that was the best candidate. Two great teams, but one of them doesn't have a history of playoff success. Why not predict them to just make a run?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's Sean Brackett's time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Sioux Falls and Spokane. Sioux Falls beat Spokane to get in. I mean, it does keep one streak alive, at the very least.
Yeah. Every United Bowl since 2011.
Mm-hmm. 10 years of United Bowls. That's like the Patriots going to the AFC Conference Championship game. You know what's going to happen. Just slot them in and hope for the best. Slot them in, put somebody else in, hope for the best. That's all you can really do. Which is getting more and more impressive due to the competition around Sioux Falls, finally getting up to Sioux Falls level and beyond that with all the bigger markets.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, United Bowl, Sioux Falls beating Massachusetts. Gosh, I can argue today. I write the finals back a different way, but and again, I can't really disagree with that. I think I'm going to put up my results right now. Quarterfinals. All right. Let me get I think I remember. What did I put my things at? I remember. Quarterfinals. That was number 8. My quarterfinals, of course. Arizona should just whoop Tucson in this situation. I legitimately think Iowa could. If anyone's going to get upset in the first round, it would be Iowa over Spokane because I don't trust Billy back in the playoffs. I know it's kind of funny thinking about, but I feel like Daquan Neal has one great game in him, and that would be his absolutely fantastic game to get cheap Iowa over Spokane. Although knowing the
I want what you're smoking.
I know. Although knowing the IFL, they would find a way to playoff rig it so it would actually be Spokane playing Iowa and Green because I was afraid of traveling anywhere. I mean, and then Sioux Falls playing Iowa. I mean, and they're also afraid of playing the Rattlers. By the way, sorry I make a check, but this is true. And then of course Green Bay, if they do make it, they're not. I love them, but they're not going to beat Sioux Falls. They're just not. The Hall of Fame game, by the way, that's going to go immediately to Sioux Falls. If Green Bay wins that, I'm going to be so happy, but they will not. And
Absolutely
then
not.
Then last in the quarterfinal round, you got Massachusetts finally winning a playoff game. The first playoff game for Massachusetts, beating up Frisco narrowly. And then of course the semis will be number 1. Not spell today. Semis, I got, of course, Arizona beating would crush Iowa. I mean, I think that's why I was afraid of them. By the way, yes, I might get check. I'm sorry. Arizona would not lose to Iowa. And then Sioux Falls and Massachusetts. Now, Ben, what's something we both know Arizona is really, really bad at?
Winning championships at home?
Yes, they are. However, I know you're probably not gonna like this one, but
You can't possibly expect them to win it at home.
I mean,
You could ask all the Rattlers fans we know, and they would still say that the away team would win in the
you know
United
what?
Bowl.
We're gonna do a live poll. Let's see who's currently. We're gonna do a live. Is there one of there's anyone VC down there, real quick? No one's VC down there. Okay. Is that Hall of Fame one? Just Ben. So I just added the 3 biggest Rattlers fans on our thing: IFL Nerd 36, Benjamin, and the Prime Minister Israel, and J-Rod Plum. Simply ask them if Arizona hosted the Arena Bowl, the United Bowl, could they win? The answer: no. And I mean, you can see from my typing, I had it wrong, but yeah, I agree with you on that one. So I cannot in good faith. I'll do that, but I can't in good faith predict it. Thank you for staying up with me. Any last things you want to get in before you go to bed? Before you finally sleep?
Duval. Well, I can still say it.
Then
Who
go ahead.
knows how long?
All right, let me get this right back at
It
it.
could die tomorrow, you know?
Yeah, it could. The Jacksonville Sharks could go by tomorrow. Could fly away tomorrow, but I will be. Just play this. Turn that down a little bit. So thank you all for watching the first episode of the 2021 Ben Pass the Target. I'm TT. He's the QB, and we will see you in November. Hopefully later this year for the NAL schedule release. Thank you for watching. Now to find a way to end there. Oh no, what just happened? Did it stop or?